Alright guys, I hope you're all doing well and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Empire led by E-Bankers facing off against Grand Cathay, who shall be helmed by Martinius here on the gates of Ekrund, and it looks like it's going to be a big old state trooper rush backed up by a steam tank and Franz. So he's going to be using the Reichlin Runefang and all that sort of good stuff to buff up the troops against Grand Cathay, who's going to be rocking a fire rain rocket as well as a cannon, which normally would probably be pretty decent against the Empire, but on this map could be a little bit tricky. This map has a lot of weird elevations and hills and line of sight blocking, so artillery is okay here, but certainly I think like mortar, indirect fire artillery is probably best. So for the Empire, some mad amount of state troopers, so swordsmen and spearmen. Obviously they do lose head-to-head against Jade Warriors, but they're very cheap and you can definitely swarm and they can buy time for other things to do well. Now the Gatling gun steam tank, this thing on paper, like if you just look at it, is going to be able to wreck a lot of the Cathay roster. It has a heavy armor-piercing chariot capabilities. It does also have heavy armor-piercing shooting. Very vulnerable against iron hail gunners and cannons. But if it can avoid those things and maybe use some of the terrain to its advantage, or the other elements that can counter it are countered by the other Empire troopers, it can go pretty bananas for sure. So steam tank there, and Franz, the Prince and Emperor, certainly the coolest character in Warhammer Fantasy, and he's going to be here with the Galmaraz and Reichlin Runefang, so he's got all his combat kit. Now looking at Grand Cathay on the other side here from Martinius, he's going to be using Jade Lancers and the Iron Dragon. Iron Dragon is amazing here. He can potentially do so much work. If you get the Iron Dragon online and start using those fat breath attacks to just melt state troopers, it's so much damage. So Jade Lancers running up to Objective 3, going to be grabbing that. And Grand Cathay playing very dwarvish here, getting the Grand Cannons up on the hill, as well as the firing rocket, which will be really good against a state trooper-based army, and a pretty nice front line as well. Jade Warriors, double Iron Hail Gunner. I mean, on paper, Martinius has everything he needs to counter the build of B-Bankers, in my opinion. But again, maps do make a big deal in domination mode, and we're going to see how those play out. So we'll do a little bit of fast-forwarding while the two armies posture. On this side, we do see the forces of Grand Cathay gathering up on the hill, and they're going to be getting that objective. Surprised the artillery is not shooting yet, but yeah, it should start shooting here in just a moment. And on this side, the state troopers are going to be arriving with some Knights of the Black Rose as well. A very, very good cav unit. You know, decent at killing Cathay infantry, but yeah, the state troopers with Franz nearby, probably enough to fend off the Iron Dragon here, and it looks like he's going to be retreating to bolster his formation here. Probably that's the play for Grand Cathay, you know, grind value in a choke point engagement for as long as you can, and then push up and take Objective 2. Empire is going to be much better at contesting the wide battlefield here. But Fire Rain Rocket's doing some nasty damage here out of the gates. Probably going to be seeing another volley coming in a moment. We do see the steam tank in the bushes, and it does get nailed by a cannon despite the trees, and the other cannonball does bounce into the tree line. So you can see the terrain is really big here as the firing rockets and Iron Hail Gunners going to be unleashing on the poor state troopers. God, imagine being one of these state troopers and your general's like, all right, you see that hill with a bunch of shotguns on it and cannons and superior troop quality? You just charge there. You're going to take the first rockets and shotgun blasts to the face. I mean, man, that is brutal stuff, but yeah, Cannon's still trying to get on that steam tank, and the steam tank is juking. I would imagine the Empire has a Life Wizard in reserve as well, but absolute destruction of the Empire front line. A couple state troopers do arrive. The Crowmen are here. Franz battling versus Zhao Ming, but he knows he's going to need to retreat that. So the Empire are probably going to have to falter, pull back, and play Objectives 3 and Objectives 2, and just try and win on that. I don't know if they're going to be able to bunker bust Cathay off this position. We see a couple state troopers trying to push onto the cannons, but they're immediately going to be run over by the Jade Lancers here. So brutal damage as the downhill charge comes, and that is a very, very strong start here from Martinius, as we do see the old steam tank volley gun getting karate chopped at as well. Really nothing seems to be going well for Empire, but sometimes that can happen for Grand Cathay where they get really ahead with their shooting, and then a couple cav units slip in, you know, kill all your artillery. But yeah, look at this. Iron Hail Gunners are also shooting into the steam tank volley gun. I mean, man, this is nasty. But here comes the volley gun. Empire does have healing as well, so healing will be on the table. And this Iron Hail Gunner unit should be shut down for now. You see the bows and the cannons trying to get on top of the tank as well. Tank is going to continue on through and jump onto the Grand Cannon using its volley gun as it goes. Franz coming over to try and support as well. Empire does have the objective advantage, so they do at least have that going. And the Jade Wizard is now on his way in to help out. And the Knights of the Black Rose have gotten into the backfield, so they have gotten down. I believe we do see the Fire Rain Rocket being knocked offline, and where are they right now? Were they even there? Yeah, they are. Okay, here they are. And they were able to get on top of the other cannon. So if the Empire can compromise like the shooting and the other elements here while keeping Franz as well as that steam tank alive, maybe there's an opportunity for them to claw back in the game. And we do see the value starting to equalize a little bit. 3,500 against 1,700, and that fat Earthblood there is going to be super cost effective as it hits the steam tank as well as the Knights of the Black Rose. I think Franz, did he get the heal? He did not, but he's going pretty Giga Chad over here for sure. I mean, aside from their guns, I mean, the Iron Dragon can fight Franz, but he's going to be very dominant against a lot of these elements here as he continues the fight. and does get a route there on the fire rain rocket, so those things are going to be breaking. The cannon is going to be the big priority, though. That's the element that really counters much of the Empire roster. Yeah, looks like it's kind of fallen apart for Grand Cathay a little bit. So we were a little bit prophetic with this. I mean, that was looking really bad in the beginning, with that cav flank coming around the side and Franz and the steam tank surviving the initial onslaught, getting the heals, and like I said, compromising the elements that can counter them. Now we have a game on our hands. So Grand Cathay is still up in value, 4,200 against 25, but there's been a lot of healing. The Earthbloods on the tank and Franz are going to be pretty big on the outside objective. I don't really see Cathay making a play for this. I mean, 2 Spearmen, Jade Warriors are going to take 45 minutes to win this fight. So I guess, what could you send here? If you wanted to as Grand Cathay, you could send a Jade Warrior, okay? You send 1 Jade Warrior, and then you save up 1,200, send 2 Crowmen to rip apart these Spearmen, and then you could probably take that objective in a pretty expedient fashion. But I think Grand Cathay is just very, very focused on trying to, you know, stabilize over here and maybe get with the tank and or Karl Franz down. And they still are breaking through the Empire front line, but Franz is healthy. The steam tank is causing a ton of havoc in the backfield. Looking at the value of the stank so far, about 1,000. It's expensive. These things are over 2,000 gold, so it still has a lot of ground it needs to cover before it becomes cost effective and really pays for itself. So Sterling's Revenge, a nice choice here. They do have armor piercing pistol shots. I love Free Company, just like it's a bunch of the neighborhood drunks coming out with their pistols and cutlasses and doing battle for Sigmar, baby. So Jade Warrior's going to be getting blasted, and shooting them in the back will mitigate the effectiveness of their shields. Iron Dragon with a beautiful breath attack there on those Spearmen brings down about half their HP. And at the very least, Grand Cathay is holding on to the objective here. So they haven't relinquished too much ground, although I would say this game has gone from being very one-sided to an extremely even match, which is not what you want as Grand Cathay. Typically, Grand Cathay, I don't know about now, ever since Empire got its update, but in the past, Grand Cathay was always pretty favored against Empire, I would say. They had a lot of advantages that the Dwarves have, but they also had, you know, Cav to contest the mobility. But Empire got some nice tools in this matchup. Knights of the Black Rose are just very good in general, because they counter Crowmen, right? Crowmen are so excellent at driving guns in different units, but the Knights of the Black Rose massacre them with the anti-infantry. So here comes the steam tank, going to be retreating back. Knights of the Black Rose moving into the Jade Warriors here. Probably going to want to penetrate through and get this Grand Cannon online. Uh-oh, the Grand Cannon's back, and it has zeroed in on the steam tank. I think that Cathay, you know, as much as I do prefer the Empire to Grand Cathay, I think that Grand Cathay has cooler sounding cannons. When the Grand Cathay cannons shoot, man, it sounds so awesome. So here they come. These are cannons, right? Yeah, they are. And are they going to rip the shots? The steam tank's charging in. It's going to get Last Samurai a little bit. We have the Iron Hail Gunner shooting, and I think there was an elevation issue. Oh, no, point-blank shots with the cannons right into the face of the steam tank. I think Iron Dragon needs to capitalize. He needs to finish this thing off, or else it's going to be very tough. So Franz duking it out here. He does get Regrowth. Name a more iconic duo in Warhammer than Karl Franz and Regrowth. Galmaraz and Reikland Runefang are active, so he's going after the Iron Dragon here. Iron Dragon obviously has an insane amount of healing, so sometimes it's not worth it to go after him, but I mean, if he's in such a precarious situation like this, where you have a full gun line shooting at him, you have him fully surrounded, it's probably worth taking advantage of, because you could still, even after he heals, maybe finish him off. Steam Tank, Volley Gun back here, still running rampant. It does rout off that Iron Hail Gunner, the other Iron Hail trying to shoot, but this little hill is giving it a lot of protection. Bows and cannons, and this is going to be another Grand Cannon. Oh man, fire, reload, fire, the tank moving in, one cannon shot does miss, point blank. As the Gatling gun gets in and drops some hot steaming payload on those guys' faces. 1,800 right here, as we do see the Jade Lancers coming in and trying to finish off the stank. If the Iron Hail Gunners moved up on the hill and surrounded it with the Jade Lancers, they maybe could get the kill here. And the Jade Lancers, or excuse me, the Jade Crossbows might be able to finish it off. We'll have to see. So back here, we do see Grand Cathay making a bit of a play for this objective. Free Company Militia will hold their own against Jade Warriors for a period of time. Franz and company battling it out with the Iron Dragon, but his heal did proc. So now Homeboy got a fat heal, and that always feels pretty bad when you try and finish him off, but he just gets the heal. And Jade Warrior Halbert's engaged against Knights of the Black Rose, so a bit of a blunder here by E-Banker. He's going to want to retreat out of the situation. Looks like he is going to be retreating and trying to stabilize his home point, because he has the 2-cap against Grand Cathay. So though the Empire seems to be getting pushed back a little bit, I think for them the real big thing is going to be holding Objective 2, and obviously I don't need to tell you guys, for Grand Cathay, the big thing for Martinius is going to be moving up and grabbing Objective Dose here, and stripping that off the hands of Sigmar. So in the backfield, is the Steam Tank still alive? Somehow Palpitank has returned. Looking at the value on the Steam Tank, it's probably eclipsing 2,000 right now, so we do see 2,100 as it eats a big cav charge. Looks like the Jade Wizard was able to get a regrowth on that bad boy, so man, like this game is actually probably a value lead for the Empire at this point. But I mean, there is healing on Cathay too with Zhao Ming, so that also needs to be factored into the metrics that you see at the top. But here, Steam Tank Volley Gun certainly an absolute menace. So on the back point, we see the Jade Warriors getting mulched on by the Knights of the Black Rose. No Greatswords being called in. As a matter of fact, it's actually going to be some War Wagons, which is a curious choice. War Wagons I've never liked against Grand Cathay. They just have so many cost-effective shielded units. And like, they're good against, I guess, Jade Lancers, maybe at poking Crowmen, but the War Wagon, it's kind of a chariot, but I think there are more cost-effective choices. Against Grand Cathay, I think it's a really good idea to mix in like 1 or 2 Greatswords, just to come in the fourth quarter like this and really hold on an objective and cut through the Cathay troopers if you can. Knights of the Black Rose, though, still very much active, and they're going to be effective at holding this point. It's very close to being a triple cap situation. Very, very close here, as we do see the Empire closing in on 1,000 points here. I think that the Sigmarites will hold. I think that the Steam Tank and Franz kind of working together in tandem with the arriving state troopers and the healing probably get the job done. Karl Franz does have Blood Roar, so he does lower the leadership of nearby units by -8, so that is one of the abilities of the big bird beast in this game. Franz going to be leaping in, ripping apart some of those Jade Lancers there. Meanwhile, on the other side, okay, so kind of what we talked about, right? Some troopers coming up. Celestial Dragon Guard, mind you, with the Empress's Crowmen. So Empress's Crowmen should annihilate a spear unit. They have such an insane stat line. 51 weapon strength, and if he has some of the bombardments, that's going to be even better, but I don't think he does. So he rear charges into the spears. Really, really good play here by Martinia. So yeah, he's playing that back objective correctly. Maybe get some Peasant Horsemen over there. But man, Iron Dragon getting smashed up by Franz. The Reikland Runefang and Gal Miraz making his stat line absolutely insane. Look at the HP pool of Jiaming, man. He is not looking good. So Homeboy's going to be broken. He's going to be routed off there. And Franz and the Steam Tank are going to win that fight. And I think the Empire, with Iron Dragon being broken, probably get the dub here. Absolutely insane that the Steam Tank is still alive. It's still going. And it looks like, yeah, and a lot of it is this map. If this was like a flat map, that Steam Tank would have been dead a long time ago. But look, it can't really be hit effectively by the cannon when it's in the low ground. So a lot of little terrain nuances like that are saving the tank this game. But that's, you know, just a testament to the Empire player playing the map and knowing that maybe he could get away with this. Because I think on any sort of a road to Talabheim or, you know, Borderlow Landing, that tank is not going to last that long. So 49 HP on this bad boy. The tank commander, he has done well. 2,800 value. So he exceeded his value by about 500 or 600 there, which is, you know, pretty reasonable. Franz chasing off Iron Dragon. That's got to be the end of the road, because the Prince and Emperor is going to be able to rout off a bunch of these units. The Empire is for sure going to win on just one objective right now, so they could just win on one if they want to. We do see the Empire getting routed off objective 3. Grand Cathay going to be taking their sweet time to get that, but I think he knows it's over, because Franz is going to just dominate the battlefield at that point. GG, well played. Really, really fun match. You know, when I did not watch that replay before I decided to cast it. You know, usually if I see the players' names and I know them and I know they're competitive players, I'll just go for it if they send it to me. I wasn't sure if that was just going to be like a tank memeing and getting karate chopped, because that looked like an absolute stomp in the beginning. But yeah, certainly changed. And the Prince and Emperor was able to get it done. Knights of the Black Rose, super good. Only weird choice for me was the War Wagon. Everything else seemed pretty solid. So yeah, GG, well played. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. I'm sure they will be dueling again in the future, maybe in the upcoming faction war. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you around, and adios.